your Indian consumer.
Hey consumers, it's me Prasad Vidparik, your Indian consumer. And you want to buy a OneplusX, right? So let's talk about the pros and cons about this device, shall we? So first things first, the packaging is really premium. First pro that we have found in this device is the packaging. Secondly, we find this soft silicone cover which becomes very essential considering the overall design of this device. The cover even gives you a nice and confident grip, which is a nice thing. Next good thing that we find in this cell phone is a pre-existing screen protecting guard. We don't see that in much devices, do we? Next up are the accessories. They're really premium and the build quality is really amazing. I've really loved all the accessories that come along with the device. So while the packaging was great along with the accessories, they also provided a soft silicone cover and a screen protector. Now let's take a look at the device. The design is really fabulous and it might remind you of some iPhone devices or even some Sony Xperia devices. But even after it being a 5-inch display, it feels very comfortable in your hand. Here you can see it besides the iPhone 6s and you can get an idea of the design and construction. The next pro is this physical button provided to switch between Hall, Priority and Silent profiles. This button seems to be inspired from a similar button we did observe on the OnePlus 2 as well. This phone also comes with a 128GB expandable memory slot, which is again a nice thing. Now let's talk about the camera. The rear camera is a 13 megapixel shooter and it has a fantastic 2.2 aperture. The camera interface is also fairly simple and you can adjust the exposure as well. The pictures however sometimes tend to be a bit overexposed. Here is a sample picture from the rear camera which takes 12.4 megapixel shots, but I've personally liked the front facing 8 megapixel shooter which takes amazing selfies. Here you can see recording using the back camera, and now we are going to try to focus. Let's see how the autofocus functions. Well, that's all you'll get to see in this video regarding the camera. If you want to know more about the camera, I'll provide a link below in the description. Now let's talk about the AnTuTu benchmark. This phone scores 39,900 on the AnTuTu benchmark, which is really good considering the 17,000 price tag on this cell phone. The next interesting thing that I've found on this cell phone is the buttons feature. So here you can see the on-screen buttons can be turned on and off, and you can do that as this cell phone comes with physical capacitive buttons. The capacitive buttons are not backlit, so that is a drawback. But still, this phone has a capacity of using the on-screen or the physical buttons, which is good. You can even swap the back button to your right, so that will be really handy for people with smaller hands. You have the option to always enable the home button. So there you see now the capacitive home button is not active, and I'll just activate it. And once you activate it, you can use the other feature that it comes along with. So previously I double tap to go to the home screen, and now I'll long press the button and there you see it opened Google search. So long press and double tap are two of the functions which you can use on all the capacitive buttons once you enable them. So there you see now the features are active on the back button and the recents button as well. Next pro that we are going to talk about are the gestures. So yes, this phone comes along with some gestures. So there you can see you can open the camera, toggle the flashlight, do music control, and I'll be demonstrating it right now. So now I'll draw O on the screen and there it opened the camera. Now let's try the flashlight. So I'll be drawing a V on the screen and it started the flashlight. So these are some of the features you will find yourself using a lot. Next good thing about this cell phone you will find in customization. So right now I've turned off the dark mode. So as this mobile phone has an AMOLED display, you can always use the dark mode and the battery will be saved a lot. So right now I've again switched to the dark mode. The color of the on-screen buttons can also be customized. So as you see there, I just turned them orange. So those are all the colors which are available for customization. Next thing we are going to talk about is the LED notification light. So the LED notification light also has all these various color options to select from. So you can keep different colors for different notifications, which is a nice thing. Next interesting feature in this operating system of Oxygen OS 2.1.2 we have found is this. So you can close all the functions running in the background with a single press. We generally don't find that feature in stock Android Lollipop devices. So if you're using Moto devices, you won't find that. Next up is this quick toggle menu in which you will find your frequently used apps. You can even customize it and add some widgets. So here I'm adding Google now, and let me just add it. Yes, there you see I've added it. And once I go back, it sits there permanently. Now I cannot remove it from there unless I go on edit. So I'm going on edit again, and now I can play with it. This thing is also really handy and I use it quite often. So well, those were all the pros. Now let's talk about the cons. Firstly being the build quality. This phone is really very fragile and because of that the back cover becomes really essential. Secondly, the invite system can be really frustrating at times. This device is only available on invites. Thirdly, even if the packaging was good, we feel it's high time and OnePlus should start providing earphones along with its devices. The camera is average and I seriously expected 4K recording as it is available in the OnePlus One. The biggest con that we found on this device is gaming. Gaming can really be a very sad experience if you're really into games. We found that the cell phone even lags and shows frame drops on simple games on lighter games like Subway Surfer. Even Asphalt Nitro did show some frame drops, and when we switched to Nova 3, this phone was horrible. Its performance really dropped drastically. I don't know why this happens, as this phone has a Snapdragon 801 processor along with Adreno 330 GPU. This should not be happening with those specifications, but it does happen. You will find two speaker grills on the bottom, but only one speaker is functional. Now in India, this cell phone should work pretty well on all 4G networks, but if you're a AT&T user in the US, you will find higher bands like the 12 and 17 of LTE network not functional. So one very important thing to consider. And the final disappointing thing that we found on this device was, if you're using an external storage, you won't be able to use the second SIM card. So either you can use two SIM cards or one SIM card and a memory card. As I generally use two SIM cards along with external storage, I found this to be a huge drawback. What I personally feel is there are many other better devices in the market which you can opt for if you are willing to spend 17,000 rupees. Few suggestions that I have for you I'll mention below in the description so you can view them. And if you're interested in buying the OneplusX itself, you can find the unboxing video and a dedicated camera review video on the screen right now. You can click on that and it will open a new tab where you can view those videos. And well, if you're watching this video on a mobile device, I'll provide links for those videos in the description as well. If you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up. And if you were watching my video for the first time, do hop onto my channel, do check out what I do. I make videos on all Indian consumer goods and services, so do check out my other videos as well. And if you like what I'm doing, do subscribe to my channel and be a part of the Indian consumer family. Well, for now, this was Prasad Vedpathak, your Indian consumer, signing off, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.